Okay, so in the first half of this unit, what you guys just tested on, we practiced, given an equation, how do we graph it? In 4.4, we're going to be doing the opposite. Given the graph, how do we write the equation? So up at the top, we've got our 2 steps. The first thing you need to do to write an equation is identify the slope and the y-intercept. So over on the right-hand side, I've got an example graph where we can easily identify the slope and the y-intercept. So if I come over here and I label what's my slope, what's my y-intercept. The y-intercept is the easier thing to identify right off the bat because all you have to do is look at the y-axis, find where does that graph go through the y-axis, and that's your y-intercept, right? So in this example, right down here at -3, that's our y-intercept. So I could go ahead and fill that in. The y-intercept is -3. Then we're going to find the slope of our graph by doing rise over run, and we reviewed that in like 4.1, the beginning of this unit. So this graph already has a second point for you, so we'll use the 2 points that are given. This graph is increasing as we look at it from left to right, so we know that it's going to have a positive slope. So I'm going to draw that right triangle to go up and over to help me count that rise over run. So my rise is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then a run of 1, which means my slope is 3 over 1, or 3 divided by 1 is just 3. Once you've identified the slope and the y-intercept, then step number 2, you can write the equation in slope-intercept form. And remember, slope-intercept form is y equals m times x plus b, where this m value is the what? Yep, this m value is the slope, right? So that's your m. And then this b value is the what? The y-intercept. So if my m is 3 and my b is -3, then the equation is y equals 3x minus 3. And just like that, you've written the equation for the slope and the y-intercept, or for the line. Okay? All right, so we've got a handful below. We're just going to work through these together. Instead of writing out like slope and y-intercept on all these, I'm just going to put m and b. Okay, we'll just make sure you know which is which. So I'm going to find m the slope and b the y-intercept. B the y-intercept is easier to find first. So looking at this y-axis, I can see that b the y-intercept is 2. So I'll label that. And then again, this graph has given me the 2 points. This graph is increasing. So I'm going to be counting rise over run, so up and right, because it's going to have a positive slope since the line's increasing. So I have a rise of 2 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then my m is 2 over 5. I have my m and my b, which means the equation is y is equal to 2 over 5x plus 2. All right, let's look at number 2. Again, we're going to label what's m the slope, what's b the y-intercept. B the y-intercept is very easy to spot. That line is going to go through the y-axis at 1. And then this graph has given me the 2 points they want me to use. This time, our line is decreasing as we look at it from left to right, so it's going to have a negative slope. So I'm going to count down and right, because down and right is how I graph it when it's negative, so that's how I like to count too. So down 1, down 2, down 3, so -3 over 1. Which means my slope is -3 over 1, or I can just write it as -3. So our equation is y equals negative 3x plus 1. Come on. Number 3. Same thing. Labeling the M, labeling the B. This y-intercept, where does this graph go through the y-axis? Goes through the y-axis at negative 2. This graph has given me that second point. Just like number 2, number 3 is decreasing as I look at it from left to right. So I need to count down and right so that I have that negative slope. So we're going to go down 1, down 2. So I'm going to put negative 2 since I counted down. And then write 1, 2, 3. So my slope is negative 2 over 3. My y-intercept is negative 2. So that makes the equation y equals negative 2 over 3x minus 2. All right, let's do these next 3 together. The difference now is on these next 3, the points aren't given. So we will be finding the points that we use to find the slope, all right? We're still going to just label them both first, and then once we label them, we're just plugging them into y equals mx plus b. So the y-intercept, easy to spot. That's going to be right here at 3. That's where we cross the y-axis. Then, since this line is increasing, I like to move up the line and find the next place where it goes directly through a coordinate. And right here is the next place that that line goes directly through one of those intersections so that we can easily count the units. What's the rise over the run, right? So I'm going to count up and right since it's positive. So that means the slope's going to be up 1, 2, 3 units, and then over 2 units. So writing this as rise over run, it's going to be 3 over 2. Now that you've found those things, you just write that equation, y equals 3 over 2x plus 3. Number 5. Again, looking at that y-axis, where does the line intersect the y-axis? It intersects the y-axis down at negative 2. This line is decreasing, so I like to work down the line to see where does it go through the next intersection. And I think it's right there at 3, negative 3. So I'm going to use that 3, negative 3 for my next point to count that rise over run. But it's going to be a negative rise and then a run. So I go down 1, and then I run 1, 2, 3. So I have a negative 1 over 3 slope. The y-intercept's negative 2. The equation is y is equal to negative 1 over 3x minus 2. All right. Last one till we get into that real life one. We got number 6, labeling the slope and the y-intercept. It's a little off on this graph, but hopefully we're all good that this is going to be our y-intercept right up here at 18. This line is going to be decreasing. So again, I'm going to go down and find where's the next intersection. Right here. Ooh. So I'm going to count down and right because it's negative. And here's what's a little tricky about this. Because when I count the units down, am I counting by 1? No. What's that y-axis labeled by? 2's. So when I count the run, I'm going to go down 2, down 4. Because it's numbered by 2's. But the x-axis, that's still numbered by 1's. So even though I go down 4, I go over 1. So you're just looking to see how are those axes numbered, because if they're not numbered by 1's, then you got to count by if they're numbered by 2's or 3's or 4's or whatever. All right, so my m is -4/1. So then the easy part is plugging them into the equation. Y equals -4x plus 18. Any questions on identifying what's the slope, what's the y-intercept, plugging them in? Cool, let's put some real life context to it, which doesn't make it any harder. We're just going to be reading what's the x and the y representing, what's the rise or the run representing, and putting those words with the numbers. Okay? So number 7 says, the graph at the right shows the linear relationship between the number of minutes Ingrid has traveled and the number of miles she is from her work. So Ingrid is driving to work. That's what we're looking at. Okay? A says, write an equation for the graph. So we're going to do that the exact same way we did numbers 1 through 6. We're going to identify what's the slope, and then B, what's the y-intercept. So the y-intercept's easy to identify. It's going to be 24. This line is decreasing, so I like to move down the line till I see where it intersects. Right here at 9:12 is the next place where I see it goes directly through. So those are the 2 points I'm going to pick. I'm going to count down and then right. But similar to number 6, when I count my rise over run, what do I need to be counting by? Good. This is numbered by 3, so I need to count by 3s. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So down 12. This time our x-axis is also numbered by 3s. So over 3, 6, 9. So that means my slope is -12/9, but I heard somebody say it. We can simplify that. -12 or 12 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So I simplify that down to -4/3. Good job. Sorry, I had to squeeze that in. All right, so now I have my m and my b. So the slope of the equation is y equals -4/3x plus 24. All right, here comes the part where we have to talk about Ingrid and she's traveling to work, and here we go, because that's what this graph represents. So part B says, what's the rate of change and what does it represent? Rate of change is just another term for slope, okay? So it's just asking me what's the m, what's the slope, and what does it represent? So we've kind of already labeled that. We know that the slope is -4/3. But what does this mean when we're talking about miles and minutes? Be specific with our 4 and our 3. She travels. Remember this is rise over run. So if our rise is miles, and that was 4, it's saying she's traveling 4 miles. Very good. 4 miles every 3 minutes. Four miles every 3 minutes. And remember, she's going from home to work, so she's getting that much closer. C says, what's the y-intercept? Again, we've already labeled that. C, again, as for the y-intercept, we've already labeled that. It's 24. But now you're telling me, what does this 24, when we're looking at 24 is on the y-axis, which is miles, and we're talking about Ingrid going to work. What's that 24 mean? Yeah, so she travels 24 miles to work, right? Or she lives 25 miles from work, or her home is 24 miles from work, whatever. That's how far she has to go, 24 miles. And she's traveling at 4 miles every 3 minutes. So then this last one, letter D, says when y is equal to 0, what's the value of x? And then what does that point represent? So there is a point on our graph that has a y value of 0. This is the y value of 0. The point that has the y value of 0 is where? Here's 0 on the y-axis. Where's the point that has a y value of 0? What's that? No. I'd like specifically tell me what's the number right now. Then we'll say what does it mean. What's the x value? There's a point on this graph, whoop, that has a y value of 0. What's its x value? There's no point at 0, 0. 18, right? There's a point right here. This is the point that has a y value of 0, and the x value of that point is 18. So now we can talk about what does that 18 mean? The x-axis is representing minutes. We're talking about Ingrid going to work. What's that 18 mean? Yeah. Takes her 18 minutes to travel to work, to get to work. 18-minute total travel time for Ingrid. Okay? So when you get to the problem on your homework that looks like this, if you struggled making any of these sentences, come back to this because the problem is very similar. It's not Ingrid driving to work, but it's somebody else starting somewhere else and going down just like this, okay? All right.